Hi, welcome to Useful Things. Today I'd like to look at MrBeast, a very big diversion from the usual content on this channel, but I think this is worth talking about. And the reason I want to talk about MrBeast is because he's coming under a lot of fire at the moment. In fact, just to kind of looking through a selection of YouTube thumbnails, you can see all these thumbnails talking about the end of MrBeast, the end of his career, the end of his empire, and you can see in some of these videos a lot of YouTubers really talking about how, you know, MrBeast is kind of coming down.
He exposed MrBeast for faking his videos, the deceptive marketing practices, doing illegal lotteries.
Now, I like MrBeast in terms of, at least prior to all this stuff coming out, and I've enjoyed his content. In fact, one of the reasons I started this channel was I saw MrBeast in an interview, and in the interview he talked about YouTube and different things. I thought, man, that sounds like a exciting thing to get involved in. And so last year I dipped a toe in the water by starting this channel, which I upload to as and when I can. Not a full-time YouTuber, obviously, although that would be a fantastic thing to do one day. But being inspired by MrBeast, I then looked at his actual content, the games he does, and the challenges, the charitable work. And you see this and you think, this is a really inspirational guy. He's a brilliant entertainer. He's a fantastic communicator when you see him in interviews. He's obviously a very driven guy, very visionary person. But it seems that all that has come with a bit of a dark side, and it's come to the fore now where there's a lot of issues that are surrounding MrBeast that could cause harm to his current status as YouTube king. So what I want to do is actually suggest why he might survive this storm, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But before I do, I just want to give a synopsis of some of the issues facing him, and if you don't know, you might be familiar with this already, and then talk about why I think potentially his career might not be over and he might still be able to continue on. So the first thing that's kind of really hit MrBeast in recent weeks is his association with Ava Chris Tyson. Ava Chris Tyson has essentially had inappropriate interactions with minors on a Discord chat, and as well as that, Ava Tyson has also, I think, had a relationship with bad power dynamics with an employee, I believe. So these are the things that are coming out. This is my understanding of events, so this is not full on, this is exactly what's happened, but this is my understanding from having watched the various content describing this. And so it seems that the accusation against Ava Chris Tyson is that they have been essentially grooming people on these Discord chats, and it's the big accusation, but then at the very least, these have been highly inappropriate conversations, and conversations that MrBeast was aware of. There seems to be evidence that he has been involved in these chats, and that he also has said things to Chris in the presence of underage kids that are not appropriate for those guys to hear. Now, underage being, as I understand it, between, I guess, the ages of 11 and 15, but still, it's not conversations that adults should be having with people of that age. So those are kind of the primary thing that's come out initially. Now, this was followed up afterwards by a video by a guy called Dogpack404. And Dogpack404 is a former employee of MrBeast, and he's produced a video where he's kind of outlined some issues with MrBeast and his video making style, and some things that he's claimed that don't seem to be true in the opinion of Dogpack404.
Also, if what we had to film was scripted, you know, because what we do is not scripted, so you have to plan for a bunch of variables that you can't control, blah, blah. If what we did was scripted, holy shit, this stuff would be easy to pump out.
Have you ever faked a video?
No.
But this train track is CGI, these bus wheels are CGI, this explosion is fake, this shredder is CGI, this car is digitally lifted, this pit is fake, this guy is fake, this raccoon is a paid actor, this island costs more than $1, this city is not abandoned, these buildings are CGI, and that's your only way out. You can literally get an Uber to the airport for $20. That's not a lurker, it's just a guy. This whole room is fake, this contestant is an actor and a secret employee at MrBeast. They haven't got through this fake door twice, this line is scripted, this action is scripted. In fact, pretty much all the videos with Mac are scripted.
What we did was scripted. Holy shit, this stuff would be easy to pump out.
Okay, so that was a really quick montage of stuff that MrBeast is fake, and I think it's pretty obvious to most adults watching that MrBeast is faking his videos, and he clearly lies about it, because every video has those incredibly high stakes all up into the end, and obviously, MrBeast spends millions of dollars on his videos, so he's not going to pick somebody who like quits in 2 minutes, or he's not going to make the challenge end in 2 minutes. He's purposely going to manipulate the events, manipulate the contestants, so that they're not going to quit halfway, and it's going to be neck and neck all the way up till the end for that retention. Now, the most damning allegation here has to be this guy called Mac, right? So Mac was made out to be this random person that is trying so hard to win these challenges, and everyone is emotionally invested in his success. Well, it turns out, in reality, he's just a MrBeast employee living in a mansion, and he purposely stalls out the videos to make it intense.
Let's talk about Mac for a second.
We will die. Do you understand that?
I found public records showing that Mac moved from California to Greenville, North Carolina, where Jimmy is located, back in August 2023, 2 months before he appeared as a contestant. According to a former MrBeast employee, this is around the time when Mac started working full-time on the editing team at MrBeast. Also, he didn't just move into any old house, he moved into a $1 million mansion. His 6,000 square foot $1 million mansion comes with a movie theater and 7 bathrooms.
What are you gonna spend the $800,000 on?
I mean, my life's changed now.
Yeah, I'm sure that $800,000 is really going to change your life.
Max is a nice car.
Tell me, where are we right now?
We're in the place that we drove to a few minutes ago.
Mac, let's cut the shit here. What have you been doing for like the last year?
A lot of family stuff.
What kind of family stuff?
Just like, playing catch with my dad,
For a year? How do you make money?
Okay, so this is pretty much confirmed that Mac is an employee, meaning if he wins or loses a challenge is pretty planned out by MrBeast. And MrBeast is artificially introducing these stakes in the video, and you might be saying, oh well, he's doing it for entertainment, to entertain the viewer, who actually cares? Well, then you shouldn't be saying that your videos aren't fake because you're lying to your audience. And this leads to several other ethical issues, because when you introduce contestants that you aren't paying, right? And you get together sort of random people or YouTubers who are not part of your bullshit pre-decided scheme, then they are actually getting tricked because they're going into these challenges thinking they can actually win $1 million, but they can't because you're controlling everything behind the scenes, and the odds are not fair and are heavily stacked in the favor of one of your friends or one of your employees and shit like that. And yeah, that's obviously messed up. Now, Dogpack goes on to show MrBeast even fakes his own challenges, like, being stranded at sea.
During this time lapse on the 4th day of 7 days stranded at sea, you can clearly see there's no one in the shelter. These are their empty beds. But after a hard cut, magically 5 people are awake, and 2 of the boys have bright yellow raincoats that they didn't have when it rained on day 2.
And after standing the whole night, completely soaked.
You didn't spend the night soaked, Jimmy. You slept on the production yacht. It's ironic because this is one of the videos where they claim that they don't fake things.
But no, we have a really real channel that doesn't fake things.
In this video, this wink was added in post. In fact, 58 was actually on the far opposite side of the room from 42, and he just didn't hear him. This whole revenge storyline was added in post. Multiple shots show how timers are edited in post. Timers are edited in post. Timers are edited in post. They also manipulated contestants' audio in post.
We got 15 minutes.
In general, if anything happens last second, it's fake. Or if you can hear someone's voice but can't see their mouth, the audio could easily be added in post.
I literally think I'm gonna kill.
Okay, so this is pretty good evidence that he's found, and honestly, I'm okay with the CGI and stuff. I understand you need that for visuals, but making people say things that they didn't say, that is just completely fake. And editing timers and stuff, I mean, you can do that or whatever if it's a TV show and stuff, but don't say it's real then. And faking your own challenges is obviously just pathetic because, when MrBeast would supposedly spend 24 hours or 72 hours buried underground or whatever, I had a little hope in my heart that, okay, at least those are real, right? And MrBeast was so insistent that they were all real, but I remember in the back of my head, I was like, oh, MrBeast is such a busy person, such a CEO, hyper-optimizing everything, and he's gonna spend 3 days buried underground or some stupid shit. So obviously I was right there, and these challenges aren't real. He's probably just, filming that part, instantly getting out, chilling outside or whatever, but I'm surprised that everybody has gone on with it. Like all these friends and all these employees, not one person had a peep out of them. Maybe he's making them sign NDAs or whatever, but I'm surprised it actually took this long, and I knew he'd be exposed by somebody close to him, like a former employee, but yeah, man, this is the downfall of MrBeast starting right now.
I mean, it's not like he's ever rigged the results of a challenge. That would be impossible because he films with hundreds of random subscribers, right? Wrong. Let's look at this video. Not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers.
So many people had jobs.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend. So yeah, the random subscribers you see in challenges are actually never random. They're almost always local to MrBeast, and oftentimes friends and family of MrBeast employees, or just the employees themselves. And when they do pull someone from outside of North Carolina, it's usually somebody who's in the industry, who's camera trained, who has built a following. And what's even worse is that the results of this video were completely scripted. According to a former MrBeast employee, it would have been a PR problem if the boys had won by a lot. And because so many of the female contestants were MrBeast employees who got out immediately, production stepped in to actually make the results of the challenge closer. You can actually see some of this happen on camera, like when Jimmy pays one of the boys $10,000 to leave, which is twice as much as the actual prize money.
All right, so essentially everything is fabricated. See, the problem here is that this stuff is borderline illegal. Because, you know, what if I'm one of the contestants that actually wasn't bought and paid for, right? I imagine at least one out of these 100 person is like an actual real person here, right? And not just friends and family. So what if I'm here spending 3 days and nights here trying to win some money, and I'm taking a break from work or whatever, and then I get eliminated and I'm like, oh damn, I didn't win. But then I realize after watching this video that the other 90% of the contestants are just your friends, your girlfriend, your whatever the heck, and they were going to win anyways. And you're scamming the legit people who came there to win some money. That is some really scummy behavior. And I gotta take the L here, guys. You guys remember Rosanna Pansino? She was this YouTuber who has been calling out MrBeast on Twitter for faking his hide and seek challenge. And she essentially said that she was supposed to place maybe like second place in the hide and seek or something like that. And, you know, everyone was like, oh, you're being petty. Who cares? Who actually cares, right? And I even criticized her before. But after looking into it a little bit more, she was right. If she thought she could actually, you know, win some money there, or thought it was legit and MrBeast was rigging the results or whatever, somebody actually broke the rules of the challenge and stuff, and they weren't called out, but she was actually eliminated. And I've defended him a lot of times against people who would criticize his charity and stuff, but there is just overwhelming evidence now that shows Jimmy is shady as F. So I'm gonna apologize. I'm sorry, Rosanna. But anyways, moving on to MrBeast's real-time video, which I knew it, like, that was the instant one where I was texting people like, this is fake. This, like, there's no way.
This is a real-time video, meaning that time elapses the same in the video as it does in real life. Now, immediately the intro is sped up, and the timer is clearly added in post, and he clearly touches the laser here, but whatever, let's assume that it's all real time. When he reaches the bottom floor, he has to turn these water valves. Now you can tell that these valves aren't actually connected to anything because the water flows out in an instant, and it happens when he's not even touching the valve. The contestant also goes back to the first valve unaware that anything had happened, and he's still able to spin it. So the valve seems to spin freely and isn't actually connected to the flow of water. So you could assume that producers might be off camera with remote switches to trigger the flow of water. And assuming they've tested this, the producers might know how long it takes for the water to clear out of the room, so they could sort of decide on the fly how many turns of the valve it takes, or just when to trigger the water in general to make the results close. And in traditional media, this kind of rigging is actually completely illegal.
On any kind of a game show where there is a prize, you have to have somebody that ensures that it's fair. They are out there essentially to make sure that we don't do something that would favor one player or one tribe.
I paid the one guy who knew how to solve them to leave.
They came to my area many times, and I was in the smallest cupboard.
Okay, so pretty much every video that ends at 0.001 seconds before finishing, and it's like super close, obviously it's fake, and MrBeast has fabricated that for you, making the video more interesting. Because in reality, it would probably end like 5 minutes before and randomly, and that would just be lame with no tension. Pretty sure this is not following the law, so MrBeast needs Saul Goodman ASAP, because if any of these people decide to, you know, sue MrBeast, they are going to win. They are going to win. You can prove a lot of this stuff with the evidence this guy's used in this video. So anyways, moving on to the one bad part of this guy's video. This should probably have been left out. He basically says the banner on MrBeast's channel, the subscribe for a cookie, is manipulative, which it's a bit of a stretch.
So one of those is faking various content in his videos with paid actors. And as well as that is kind of using CGI and different things. So rather than these videos being completely unscripted, saying that the videos are scripted and that people are in these videos. Now I might be wrong about the actors, it might just be that there's people that he knows, but definitely giving them scripts is the accusation that Dogpack has made. Along with this, Dogpack has also accused MrBeast of running illegal lotteries, and the lotteries seem to be of a nature where people seem they can win things by buying MrBeast's merchandise, but then not able to, and using these kind of tactics to sell his chocolate. I'll be honest with you, I tried the original Feastables. Me and my son both tried it. It was awful, and I'm surprised anybody in the UK would buy it given what's available to us. In the United States, that might be a different ball game for you guys. And then finally, there's issues surrounding the Beast games. Now, there's been a video come out with a young lady describing some of the issues around the Beast games. And so the Beast games seem to be where MrBeast isn't treating the competitors fairly, withholding medicine, withholding underwear, which seems bizarre thing to be saying, that MrBeast, you're so mean, you're withholding underwear. But seriously though, not only does the incident seem bizarre, but or the action seem bizarre, but also it just seems so strange to be even saying these words out loud. But I guess if you've been in the same underwear for several days, there's, you know, especially for ladies, it's not nice, not comfortable, and not a good way to I guess you could say, look after your contestants and the people on your show. But that's the kind of synopsis. I know I'm not going into the detail, but you can find many details on this online, and I don't want to talk about that as much as I want to talk about what the consequences could be, and what I think he might survive them. So the consequences could be that Dogpack's videos, which currently have, I think, 11.5 million views, and other things that he's releasing, could do significant damage to MrBeast. He begins to lose subscribers, he begins to lose advertisers, and then his channel really begins to diminish. So that's one thing that could happen. Also, if there are other things that come out from the Discord chats, my understanding is a lot of these have been deleted, then he could be in more serious trouble depending on his interaction with minors and his knowledge of anything that Ava Chris Tyson may have done that could have been illegal. At this moment, I don't know the laws in the States to say whether or not anything he has done is of criminal behavior. So all I would say is, as a father, I would no longer want my son to be watching MrBeast content, and I would not want his influence in my son's life. Secondly, though, I want to say why he might survive this, and there's a couple of reasons. I think, number one, he's loaded. He's got access to good lawyers, and that will help him. I've seen some memes, you know, I hired 100 lawyers and that kind of thing online, which I think is very funny. But at the same time, it's kind of true that when you're rich, when you're powerful, when you have access to lawyers, you're gonna be in a place where you can insulate yourself to a certain degree. Obviously, if something's illegal, if something's criminal, that's not the case. And secondly, I think he may just be a step removed from the Ava Tyson stuff to be okay from it. So he's not quite in the middle of it. He may be a step removed that he can distance himself from it. Obviously, he's parted ways with Ava Chris Tyson since all this has happened. It's very fuzzy as to whether they were fired or whether they were, I guess you could say, just parted ways. That seems to be a bit fuzzy, but the reality is he's distanced himself from Ava Tyson, and then so he might be insulated from that. Then secondly, one thing I've noticed as this has been going on since this has happened, MrBeast had 306 million subscribers. Now he's got 309, so his channel's still growing. And as you look through comments, so he did a video with a YouTuber that was visiting famous YouTubers' houses, and in her video there was loads and loads of positive comments, loads of people respecting MrBeast, a lot of people saying, man, it's amazing how the richest YouTuber has the most humble apartment or house that he lives in. This is obviously something that's been challenged with some stuff that's come out saying MrBeast owns a lot of property outside of his studio and in the area that he's in. So that might not necessarily be true in terms of his humility, and his lifestyle isn't what it seems, but there's enough people that believe it to have impact. Secondly, his latest video has got over 100 million views already, so people are still interested in MrBeast. I know he's been culling comments from there regarding all the issues that have come up, so obviously that's a concern, but it's obviously a way of protecting himself, so he's taking those measures. And so these things might actually shield a good proportion of his subscribers and his audience from things that are coming out, especially if they're kids and younger people. They might not even be aware of all this is going on, so you might be protected from that. Also, outside of his main channel, he's got his other channels as well. He's got his foreign language channels, and so audiences outside the US might also be kept from some of this information. The other thing that might save him is the fact that he's young, and we expect young people to kind of do stupid things, make mistakes, not know what they're doing. We've got to respect a guy that, even if he's not done it in the most ethical way, because he's not been taught that, he's not been mentored in that, but he's achieved what he's achieved. And so if he's able to kind of humble himself and say, hey, listen, I've done these things wrong, I own these, I take responsibility for these, I am going to change my methods, I'm going to look after my employees better, I'm going to make sure contestants in my videos are safe and we uphold the highest health and safety standards, and he delivers on those things, he could actually at his young age, in his mid-20s, be able to turn this around, and everybody will see not a story of a guy that failed, but a story of redemption. Personally, I have a kind of a bit of grace for people who've had kind of fame, success and everything else young as he did, only to recognize that it doesn't excuse everything that they do, it doesn't make it right, but it also just gives us the understanding, say, people are learning and people are growing, and depending on what the mistakes are, some have graver consequences than others, and it all depends on what the mistakes are, what the consequences are, and how they've impacted people along the way would depend as if he can move on from those. I think another thing to consider is MrBeast is a very, very good entertainer. Now, you might not like his content. I know a lot of people online who are saying, finally, I've been saying this for ages about MrBeast, raising my concerns. They don't like his content, and that's fair enough. His content isn't for everyone, but there's obviously a great amount of people that do enjoy his content. He's the biggest YouTuber on the platform for a reason. And it's not just because he throws money at people, but it's because he knows how to get people to click on and watch videos to the end. That to me is the basis of somebody that can produce and make content that people will watch and people will enjoy. And from that point of view, he has those skills. He will never lose those skills. That's in his locker. He'll be able to kind of deliver on that in the future, I believe, if he weathers this storm. Whether he does or not, I don't know. Whether he should or not, I don't know, because there's still everyday details are emerging. I watched a video this morning that labeled another accusation at MrBeast on a particular employee that he hired and a criminal past that they had. Now, I don't know how certain that is and what the details are, so I've not really included it in this video in any great detail. But if that's true, it would give me a greater cause for concern that there are more nefarious things going on inside the company. But for me, I hope he learns from this lesson. I hope he humbles himself. I hope he makes restitution where he needs to. I hope that the incidents he's involved in are not too serious. If they are, I hope that he gets the punishment he deserves. If they're not, I hope he's able to kind of redeem himself and continue entertaining people. But as for this moment in time, as a dad, I'm not going to allow my son to watch MrBeast. And my young son, when he asks, can I watch MrBeast? I'm going to say, no, he's been up to some naughty things and we won't be able to watch these videos from now on. But who knows what will happen? Watch this space. All this could change in the next week. But there's some things for you to consider. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think MrBeast will survive this? Do you think he's going to kind of come out of it even stronger? Do you think he's going to be harmed but continue going? Or do you think this is the end and we're going to witness in real time the world's biggest, most successful YouTuber come to nothing over the next few months? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you like this kind of content from what I've been doing so far, let me know and I'll make maybe some more thought-based videos in the future. Take care now. Bye.